It's been 3 months since I entered this nursing home. Everyone calls me the quiet grandmother. No words, no complaints, just an old woman staring out the window. Actually, this notebook in my hands contains records from the past 50 years. The time I lived as a lawyer, the moments I fought in courtrooms. But here, no one asks. They assume an elderly woman couldn't have such a past. Today I heard screaming from the end of the corridor again. A nurse scolding a patient. A brief scream, then silence. I just closed my eyes. It's not time yet. I learnt something in court. Anger without evidence is merely noise, so I wait. Recording one by one in this old notebook for the day when this silence becomes a weapon. When will it come? The day I wear my legal robes again. According to 2024 Elder Justice Department statistics, only 1 in 14 nursing home abuse cases are reported to authorities. That means 13 cases remain hidden in silence. I won't let that happen here. That night, I couldn't sleep because of sounds coming from the corridor. Someone screaming, objects falling, and urgent footsteps. I opened my door slightly. At the corridor's end, in front of the bathroom, grandmother Kim Young-hee lay collapsed. Clear bruises on her arms, patient gown torn. 2 nurses hurriedly lifted her. Be quiet. What if someone hears? No CCTV in this area, so it's fine. They scanned the surroundings and dragged the grandmother away. I remembered every moment. Time, location, conversation content, and the faces of both people. 50 years of lawyer life taught me that evidence is created in an instant. I returned to my room and opened my notebook. Date, time, witness details. I recorded everything without omission. In court, records are stronger than memory. Facts win over emotions. And I knew what happens here is never coincidental. System gaps, environments that force silence, calculated abuse in CCTV blind spots. Now I made my decision. I would stand in court again. The Elder Justice Act of 2010 mandates reporting abuse within 24 hours of discovery. Failure to report carries penalties up to $300,000. This facility violated that law 27 times in 3 months. Someone had to speak up. In 1972, I became the 6th female lawyer in South Korea. The legal field was a man's world then. I heard countless times, what business does a woman have being a lawyer? But I never gave up. Each time I won in court, I proved my existence. Defense for the weak, logic against injustice, and unwavering conviction. For 50 years, I handled 586 cases, winning 492 of them, an 83.9% success rate. Countless all-nighters and tears are contained in those numbers that can't be expressed. In 2020, I retired. My body weakened, and my memory wasn't what it used to be. Family recommended a nursing home, and I accepted. I thought, it's time to rest now, but justice is needed outside the courtroom too. Even more desperately, actually. After entering the nursing home, I realised something. The greatest injustice occurs where the weakest people gather, and no one hears their voices. I opened my notebook again. This time, it's not my case. It's the case of all the grandmothers and grandfathers here. According to recent studies, approximately 5 million elder abuse cases occur annually in the United States. Yet only 2% of physicians report suspected cases. The system fails those who need protection most. I decided I wouldn't let that happen anymore. Not while I still have my mind and my voice. For 3 months, I recorded 27 cases of abuse. Dates, times, perpetrator names, victim conditions, witness presence. I also identified locations where there were no CCTVs. And most importantly, I recorded the nurses' conversations. To become legally valid evidence, you need clear context and testimony. I prepared all of it. One day, I knocked on the director's office door. Grandmother, what can I do for you? The director still saw me only as a quiet old woman. I placed the document bundle on the desk. I am Lee Sun-ja, a lawyer with 50 years of experience, and I currently possess evidence of 27 elder abuse cases occurring in this nursing home. The director's face turned white. What is this? Elder Justice Act, Section 2011, Mandatory Reporting Obligation. Section 2012, Penalty provisions for abuse perpetrators. You knew all this, but ignored it. You're an accomplice. I played the voice recorder, the nurses' voices, even the director's voice, instructing abuse, clearly recorded. This evidence has already been submitted to police and the Department of Health and Human Services. In 30 minutes, this facility will be subject to search and seizure. Police cars entered outside the window. I turned my wheelchair toward the door. See you in court. Under federal law, each violation of mandatory reporting carries fines, up to $300,000. With 27 documented cases, this facility faced penalties exceeding $8 million. But money wasn't my goal. System change was. The trial began 3 months later. In between, the media exploded. 75-year-old former lawyer exposes nursing home abuse. Silent grandmother cries for justice in court. People called me a hero, but I knew the real fight was just beginning. The courtroom is cold. You must speak with evidence, not emotion, and fight with logic. The opposing lawyer attacked my age and memory. The witness's testimony may be mistaken due to advanced age. I submitted my prepared documents, records by date, audio files, cross-verification with medical records. This is not a mistake. This is evidence of systematic abuse. The judge reviewed my materials. 27 cases, 15 victims, 8 perpetrators, and the system gaps that allowed all of this. The courtroom held its breath. I testified from the witness stand. When people age, society treats us as invisible. Our words don't matter. Our pain is considered insignificant. But the law is different. The law doesn't discriminate by age. I presented statistical evidence. In facilities with poor oversight, abuse rates increased by 340%. In areas without CCTV coverage, incident reports decreased by 78%. Not because abuse doesn't occur, but because it's not documented. The correlation was undeniable. This wasn't isolated incidents. It was institutional failure. The courtroom stirred, I continued. Justice delayed is justice denied. For 3 months, I watched and waited. Not from weakness, but from strategy. Evidence requires time, precision, and patience. Now that evidence speaks louder than my voice ever could. The verdict came 6 weeks later. Guilty on all counts. The director received a 3-year prison sentence. 8 staff members lost their licenses permanently. The facility was placed under federal oversight for 5 years. But that wasn't my real victory. What I fought for wasn't just punishment, it was system reform. As part of the settlement, the facility was required to install comprehensive CCTV coverage with no blind spots. Mandatory quarterly third-party inspections were implemented. A resident advocate position was created, filled by a licensed attorney who conducts weekly interviews with every resident. Anonymous reporting hotlines were established, with protection from retaliation. Most importantly, the case set legal precedent. Nursing homes nationwide now face stricter oversight standards. The Department of Health and Human Services issued new regulations, citing this case specifically. What one 75-year-old woman documented in a worn notebook became the foundation for protecting thousands. That's what justice means, not revenge. Transformation. I stood outside the courthouse that day. Reporters asked, "How does it feel to win?" I answered, "I didn't win. The system failed for too long. This is just the beginning of making it right." According to post-verdict monitoring, abuse reports in similar facilities increased by 430% within 6 months. Not because abuse increased, but because people finally felt safe reporting it. That's true victory. 1 year has passed since the trial. I still live in a nursing home, a different one, with proper oversight. Young lawyers visit me now. They ask how I did it. I tell them the truth. Justice isn't about age or strength. It's about refusing to accept injustice as normal. The notebook I carried for 3 months is now in the National Archives. It's used in training programs for adult protective services nationwide. Every page, every entry, every recorded conversation, they all serve as teaching tools. That worn notebook became a weapon not through violence, but through truth. I receive letters from families of victims, from nursing home residents, from advocates across the country. They thank me, but I tell them, don't thank me. Continue the work. Silence enables abuse. Voice creates change. Whether you're 25 or 75, Your voice matters. The system only changes when we refuse to stay quiet.
I'm 76 now.
My hands shake more than before. My memory isn't perfect, but my conviction remains unshaken. As long as there's injustice, there will be someone to fight it. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone who looks weak but carries decades of wisdom. Never underestimate the power of one voice. Never underestimate the elderly. We've fought battles you can't imagine, and we're not done yet. Justice doesn't retire. Neither do I.